Welcome to my channel. My name is Stevenson Chimba, and I'm a passionate poultry farmer. Right now, I'm in my poultry loom, and today we've got something that we want to talk about, and this is concerning about the birds are pecking me. They're pecking my toes, you know. So this is how the birds look now. So today we want to talk about the body language of the birds, and we want to talk about temperature regulation. So for startups, let's start with the temperature we need to maintain during brooding time. So during brooding time, we maintain the temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. That's the starting point. Those you know, each and every parameters that you are giving on specific things like the way your temperature should be. The parameters are always like, okay, you go 32 up to, you know. So now we are dealing with the brooding. So we'll start first with brooding. So during brooding time, you need to maintain about the starting point is 32. But okay, so first for startup, let's do this. We'll start up with the way you need to put in your beds when they're coming in. So first thing first is, you know, you need to clean up the room. You need to have your room cleaned up. You know, biosecurity is very important. You need to have your room disinfected, your feeders disinfected, your drinkers disinfected, all of them. You know, and the best part I can say is you need to clean up your poultry house the moment when your beds are sold out. As you take a look at my beds, the way they're looking, they are almost market time. Soon they'll be on market time. They only have maybe a week from now. So you need to clean up the room. You clean up the room, you make sure the room is disinfected. Then, you know, now we want to talk about how now when you bring in the beds, you know. So first thing first, when your beds, maybe they are coming up tomorrow, which means you need to warm up the room for 24 hours if you have to. Then if you can't make 24 hours, oh, these beds are pecking me, man. So if you can't make up 24 hours, at least before the beds coming in 3 or 4 hours, make sure you warm up the room. And you know, if you have a thermometer, it's very good because you are able to tell and to regulate how much temperature you're having in your room. But if you don't have a thermometer, when you get in, you need to make sure your room is warm. Okay? So now that leads up to how now the birds will react to the warm food that you're going to have in your room. If you have a thermometer, it's very easy. But if you don't have a thermometer, it's a little bit complicated, and it's a little bit, especially if you are a startup, it's not really easy for you to detect like this is the way the room temperature of my brooding area should be. So number one, I would advise everybody to get a thermometer. You know, brooding time is a very important and a critical time for your beds. So this is the time you need to notice, and this is the time you need to tell, like, okay, am I maintaining the right temperature? Or again, you can check the body language of your beds. You know, the body language of the beds can tell you how the temperature in the room is. So number one, make sure you have a thermometer. Okay, so because during brooding time, this is the time where you are able to tell, like, my beds will grow. Because if you do your brooding time very much, okay, most of the time you won't even experience, you know, there's some people who experience like water belly from the beds. It's all those starts from brooding time. Most of them mistakes like instant growth, they start from brooding time. So, you know, so what I want to specifically speak about mostly, because some upcoming those who want to start a poultry farming, they are not sure, and there's also those who are already in poultry farming. I'm sure they're not aware of how the birds are supposed to act. You know, when we are starting our brooding time, we start at 32 degrees Celsius. Sometimes we go up to 33. You know, it depends with the weather, the way it is, and especially the way you put in your fire. Okay, so some people asked me and say, should we maintain 32 degrees until time of sale? I'm very sure these people were asking me this. These are the people who are finding out about poultry farming and they want to indulge in poultry farming. I feel so good to hear this type of question coming to me, because I feel so much passionate, you know, to explain this thing to them, because I know they just want to come up, they want to know, and then they want to make sure they have the right information about it growing broilers. You don't have to maintain 32 degrees Celsius. According to the suppliers of your beds, on that box, there's always temperature regulations, how you should handle your temperature during brooding time. They always put there, unless otherwise these are new upcoming suppliers. Otherwise, those who are already in the game, like they've been in the chicken business for a long time, they put behind. So some, they put every day you need to deduct by 1 degree Celsius. Then some, they put like you need to deduct 0.5 degrees Celsius, which is half every day. So it depends on the supplier that has given you the beds. So it's not only about reducing your temperature in the porch area. No, it's all about leading how your beds are behaving. That is very important. Sometimes you can find you are keeping your beds during cold season, sometimes during rain season. Sometimes in rain season it gets hot, sometimes it gets cold. So during those times, especially during cold time, even if your temperature is at 20, for example, maybe 28 degrees, that is when they've stayed for 4 days, then you find like your beds are engulfing at one place. Those are the ones we call body language, like the way the body of the way the beds are behaving. When they're engulfing at one place, even if you're on day 24, or maybe you are on fourth day, which is you need to maintain 28 degrees. Okay, if you are doing 1,111, but if you are doing 0.5, that means you'll be somewhere up. So the body language of the beds is very important. The way the beds will behave according to the room temperature you are giving them is very important. And the most important other part that I need to mention, and I need to make sure it is clearly said, you need to make sure your ventilation, my ventilations are this side and the other on the other side. So your ventilations, even during brooding time, you need to have air which is coming in and the other one which is going out. It's very important. So some poultry farmers, they close up the whole room to make sure the room is warm. No, that's not okay. I mentioned that in the other video. So what we are trying to say here is we want to talk about the temperature and the body language. So sometimes you can find like you've reduced your temperature because of the days your beds are having. Then you find like the body language of the beds, the one the beds are giving you, that is accurate. Sometimes you can find the thermometer is not okay. So which means according to the way your beds are behaving, the body language they are giving you, you need to take note of that. If they are engulfing at one place, which means those beds are feeling cold. If they are going off from the heat source, they are feeling warm. But if they are moving out there and then they are in different places, know that the temperature in the room is okay. So sometimes you find like, no, you are 32, your beds are engulfing. Increase a bit, because maybe where your temperature is, your thermometer is, thermometers don't just go, they go. You understand? So you need to wait first, you check for your temperature. But the most important part is the body language of your beds. If they're engulfing at one place, make sure you increase the temperature. Then second, you don't have to maintain 32 degrees until cell time. No, that's why I'm mentioning this. The body language, number one, but make sure again, the body language is important. Then number two, your temperature regulation according to the supplier was given you. You follow them up. Oh, this day you need to have this temperature, this day to this temperature. Some people, they just follow up that, but they don't notice the body language of their beds. That's why I'm mentioning the body language, because some people, they'll have their beds taking a lot of time to market time, because when beds are feeling cold, they don't eat the way they're supposed to eat. I mentioned that in the other video. If you see the other video, I mentioned that. So when they're feeling cold, the beds, they don't eat the way they're supposed to eat. Every poultry farmer will notice that. So one, for you to make sure your beds are growing accordingly, and then they will grow fast until market time is in a short period of time. Maintain the temperature. Even if the beds are 4 weeks, if they're engulfing at one place, if the season you are in is cold season, you are giving them outside temperature. But the body temperature, the body language of the beds, it's not acting according to the way you want them to act, whereby you find your beds are not eating. It's not okay. These beds, broilers, you know, these broilers, they need to eat all the time for them to gain weight. So you find like, okay, my beds are, I think the body language is not good. That's why sometimes it's good to enter your poultry room barefooted, so that you are able to feel how the down part is, if it's cold. Then sometimes when the beds are still small, you just pick one. You press the legs on your cheek. If the legs are cold, that means your beds are feeling cold. If it's warm, then the temperature is fine. You can lead that body language. Okay, so ingafing are not at one place, not good. Playing around, temperature is good. Okay, so you reduce your temperature from 32. If you are doing 1, day 2, 31, day 3, 30. You are reducing each and every day by 1 according to your temperature regulation from your supplier. Then some 0.5. You follow that up to down. So every upcomer should know and should always have this. Make sure you check the body temperature of your beds, and make sure you check the temperature regulation according to your supplier. Then you will know how everything is supposed to go. So I'm sure this is very accurate, and this is the way you should go forward. And I'm sure I've taken away the curiosity, and I've answered all the questions that have been asked from my inbox, like everybody's been asking me. So make sure you follow that up, and then lead the body language as well. It's very important. So thank you guys for watching, and if you're new, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any topic and any lesson that we are teaching here. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any video, and make sure you click on the bell so that you don't miss, so that you get a notification when you upload the new topic. So this is very important. Body language, temperature regulation, make sure you follow that. Make sure your beds are in good place, make sure your ventilation is good, and make sure your room is clean. So guys, thank you for watching. Bye bye.